Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Alice and I enjoy doing reviews. I enjoy reviewing products from, different stores like Walmart, grocery stores, thrift stores, drug stores, hopefully for an affordable price because, things are kind of expensive these days and I don't have a lot of money to spend. So, yeah, welcome. I hope you stick around, especially if you like the reviews that I do. I really appreciate you guys watching and taking the time to comment and subscribe to my channel. That means a lot to me. Thank you. So today I'm really excited because we have two different coffees that we are going to be reviewing. Two different coffees that are not Starbucks. So keep that in mind. Neither of these coffees are Starbucks, and I don't feel like these brands would be something that are very mainstream. I'm not sure if they're sold in other grocery stores around the US or even around the world, so you'll have to let me know in the comments if you've heard of either of these brands, because I would be very interested in knowing if they exist anywhere outside of my sphere. So yeah, that would be really cool. So the first coffee that we are going to be reviewing today is from the Black Rifle Coffee Company, Kodiak Attack, which is a USA company, as you can see, the little flag there, and I think, oh yeah, it says it right on the side there, roasted in the USA. It also says a portion of our profits go to veteran, law enforcement, fire, and first responder causes. And I think that's really cool. Those people don't get that much recognition in society. I think it's really cool that they would, choose to donate a portion of their profits to help them. I think that's an awesome cause to get behind. And it says also here on the side, veteran founded, and ingredients 100% coffee. So yeah, this is an interesting coffee company. I feel like, there's something kind of new and unique. As you can see there on the front, there is a man fighting a giant bear with what looks to be just a blade, just a knife in his hands right down there. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting, packaging for a coffee. It's very kind of like you would think rustic and maybe kind of like old school America, sort of surviving, in the wilderness. And yeah, I don't know. I think bears are very scary creatures. I was in a forestry class in high school, and they had this video they wanted to show us, but you had to get your parents' permission because it was pretty graphic. So I got my dad's permission to watch it, and I have to say, it definitely lived up to the name. There was a bear on that on that video. That I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I just do that out of like nervousness. This bear like eviscerated this person. Just like it was all caught on camera by someone else that had been with the person, and like just how quickly they went from like, running for their lives to just like dead on the ground was incredible. These are very powerful creatures. They're very intensely powerful creatures. That same video also showed someone being trampled by a moose and like I think an attack by a mountain lion or some big cat. I'm pretty sure it was a mountain lion. Someone on a bicycle even. The mountain lion just came up and just like took him down. And it was just, I don't know. It was a very intense movie. It really showed you the dangers of, the wilderness and kind of being out in nature, approaching wild animals, basically saying, don't do it. Yeah. Black Rifle Coffee. It's a medium roast. And let's see, it says on the back here, if you absolutely have to wrestle with anything, let it be deciding which great coffee to drink. Not 1,000 pounds grizzly bear. Okay, wait, 1,000 pounds? It should be 1,000-pound grizzly bear. As you can see right here, 1,000 pounds grizzly bear. I'm not sure if that's going to show up, for you or not in the camera, but yeah, they say 1,000 pounds grizzly bear. It's actually supposed to be 1,000 pound grizzly bear, but that's just a tiny little English nitpicky thing. Yeah, I am very excited to try this coffee. The next coffee we have here is the Organic and Fair Trade Peace Coffee Morning Glory Signature Blend. And yeah, I got this coffee at a grocery store. I will admit it was on sale. Whereas the Black Rifle coffee was around like $13 to $14, this coffee was around like maybe $7, I think, after the discount. I'm pretty sure it was close to $10 before the discount. So yeah, I just thought it was a really, really cute little unique package right there. I like the little flowers on the front there and the little turtle that says since 1996. So apparently this coffee's been around for a little while. It says it's a light roast and you brew you. Whether you drip, press, steep, or infuse, you cannot count on a cup that's always fresh, sustainable, and amazing. And then it says, need advice? We're on it. Visit them at their website, which, you know, I'll put up on the screen here if I can, if it shows up on my camera. You know, yeah. It says, Peace Coffee, in it for good. We're starry-eyed dreamers who believe in bicycle power, being nice, and bringing neighbors, farmers, and community together. We believe that collaboration works wonders, and that passion, honesty, and a really great cup of coffee can make the world a better place. And when that coffee is sustainably grown and freshly roasted to bring out the best in every bean, well, that's when the real magic happens. I am so sorry. It reads very PR, very, you know, I know I said we weren't going to do a Starbucks review, but, you know, kind of took an influence from Starbucks here, Peace Coffee. It sounds like something that Starbucks would have come up with. It's very flowery, you know, kind of like their packaging on the front here. And yeah, I'm very curious to see if this coffee can live up to its name, because if a brand goes on sale, that means that people aren't buying it, and if people aren't buying it, it might not be that great of a brand. That's not always the case, but you know, generally that kind of tends to be the case, at least when it comes to like food items. Now, you know, things like makeup or other products, it might just be like personal choice, you know, but for coffee and food items, I think like it is a matter of taste and quality. But I'm very curious. It smells very good. I can kind of smell it through the bag here. And yeah, I'm very curious to see how Peace Coffee tastes and what it's like. We are going to be using my Starbucks blue mug. You know, very kind of neutral as far as Starbucks logos go. And for the other coffee, which was packaged in red, we are going to be using my red cup. So, all right, let's get started. Okay, so as I said before, I think this packaging is really interesting. It's really, you know, it's really kind of like rustic and kind of almost scary in a way because of the bear. You know, maybe that's just me, but yeah, I am very excited to see what Black Rifle Coffee kind of has made in terms of a brew. You know, it's just a lot of these smaller companies can be either hit or miss, and I'm very excited to see, you know, which one this is. Okay, so just opening it up. Ooh, that smells nice. I like that. Just a very fragrant coffee scent, you know, very light, very definitely, you can definitely tell it's a medium roast actually just from the smell alone. It doesn't have like those burnt undertones or a slight bitterness to it. Just a very smooth coffee smell, and I'm very excited to try this. Okay, letting that brew a little bit longer there. You might be able to kind of hear it in the background there as it kind of goes through the filter. I use a pour over system when I do these coffee tastings because it generally lends itself to like catching those subtle notes and the different flavors of the coffee that might be lost when you brew it, just in a regular pot. Not to say that brewing it isn't good, because I really do like brewed coffee too, but doing it with a pour over allows you to really kind of experience what the coffee truly is. And I don't know, I've always really liked that. I've always thought that it was kind of neat that you could put different flavors and notes in coffee, that coffee, doesn't taste, just across the board the same. So yeah, as you can hear, it's still brewing. And, I want to apologize just real quick, because I feel like sometimes when I get in front of a camera, I start to kind of almost disassociate, and I'm very sorry for that. If I seem a little weird or a little off, it's usually because I'm kind of just a hair disassociating while I'm talking to you all. But I promise it's not you, it's me. So I am very, very excited to try this coffee, because I don't know, the packaging is cool. The idea of it sounds cool. It's American made. I think that's really neat, and I support the causes that they are behind. So it's a good idea behind this coffee. I really hope that they can kind of follow through on it. So I have got my cup of the Black Rifle Kodiak Attack coffee, hoping to not ever be attacked by a Kodiak bear. They are frightening. I think they're the biggest bear on, oh no, maybe that's not right. I think that, polar bears are the biggest bear. They're really big too, though. I feel like every bear is really big compared to a human. So hoping to never be attacked by any bear. Let's get some notes from a quick smell here. Again, that really smooth, almost buttery, scent of coffee. It's hard to explain, but it's a very, very light scent, but at the same time, you really can pick up the coffee, the coffee bean. It's really, I don't know, it's a very nice smell. It's not like some other coffees, even Starbucks. They can have a coffee that tastes great, but has just kind of a slight bitter smell to it, and this coffee really doesn't have that. So I'm excited to try it. Okay. Yeah, wow. Okay, so it's a medium roast, and yeah, it does taste like a medium roast. It sets pretty light on the tongue. There is a slight bitterness to it, but overall, it's a very smooth flavor. There are those buttery notes that I mentioned before. Yes, kind of a richness, like a buttery richness to this coffee that, I don't know, it's not overly a bitter dark roast, something that's been roasted a long time. It actually has a lot of smooth flavor to it. Just a slight hint of bitterness, but overall a very buttery flavor, very light and hardly any acidity. There's a tiny bit, but it's not overpowering like you might find in a blonde roast, especially from Starbucks. Yeah, this would be a really good cup of coffee to serve after a nice dinner. If you were gonna have a slice of pie or something, this would be a really good cup of coffee to go with that. Or maybe I don't know, maybe a croissant, in the morning. It's kind of like a coffee I would feel would be good for all occasions, and that's kind of weird to say, but it's a really good cup of coffee. It's not too overpowering. It's not too, it doesn't have so many notes that your mouth is so overwhelmed by it that you might have to pair it with a certain food for, it and the food to taste good. It's actually just a very well-rounded, good tasting cup of coffee. I really like this. I don't know, I'm surprised. Yeah, you'd think with a name like Kodiak Attack, it'd be I almost thought the coffee might attack you with flavor, but it's not exactly that. But I really like what it is, because I feel like this is a coffee that can be enjoyed by pretty much anybody who likes coffee. This is really good. I like this. So the next coffee that we are going to try is the Peace coffee, And as I said, it's called Morning Glory Signature Blend. It is a light roast, and yeah, I got it on sale, which, you know, sometimes can mean certain things, but not always. And I'm very excited to try this coffee and see how it is, because, you know, it seems like it's a really good brand, despite the, like, you know, kind of cliche PR, you know, thing that they said. All right, let's give this coffee a little bit of a smell here. We're open. Ooh, okay. Light is definitely the word I would use, but also sweet, nutty, and something else. Maybe something old? I don't know. Maybe there was a reason this coffee went on sale, but I'm picking up a lot of different scents in there. It's some of them good, some of them not so good, but yeah, this is a kind of coffee that doesn't really smell like coffee. It smells like other things. So yeah, it smells like slightly sweet, slightly nutty, slightly like coffee light with something old mixed into it. So I am a little less excited now, but let's give it a try. Okay, so I have the coffee brewed and it's in my classic nondescript red mug. So yeah, let's give it a little bit of a sniff here. Same notes, very muted though. Like in the actual like ground coffee form, they were really pungent, but it's way more muted when you brew it. I'm still picking up that sweetness, that nuttiness, that hint of something that I don't quite know what it is, but it smells a little old. I'm very curious. I'd be curious to try this coffee if it weren't on sale. Just because, like, I feel like maybe it was on sale because it was old and I didn't really realize that when I picked up the bag. I'm sure they wouldn't have sold something that was out of date, but still, coffee can kind of, you know, when it's ground, it kind of has a shelf life, and you know, it only a certain amount of time can pass before it's just kind of, you know, it has a certain taste to it. If you've ever had old coffee, you know what I mean. All right, so let's give this a little bit of a taste. Ah, yes. Whatever that old taste is, it's really more prominent when you drink it. It's definitely a light roast. It's definitely smooth. Barely any acidity, you know. It's very light body. It has that same sweetness, whatever that taste is, that weird old taste, and like maybe it is the coffee itself. So, you know, maybe I'm not really giving it a fair shake right now because like it tastes just oof, a little bit old. I'm not sure if there's supposed to be floral notes in this. All I'm getting is kind of the nutty texture and just kind of the general, you know, the general sweetness of the coffee. Maybe if this coffee wasn't close to being expired, it would taste a lot better. As it is, I'm just, you know, it's not as good as the Kodiak. I'm just not loving it. Every time I sip it, it tastes a little bit, I don't know. I really want to like this coffee. I really like the sentiment behind it. I think, you know, the packaging is cute, and though kind of cliche, I think it has a nice message on the back of it. I just, that oldness, you know, maybe we'll have to return to this coffee sometime because I feel like it could be a really good cup of coffee if maybe it hadn't sat on a shelf for so long. And next time when I choose a coffee, I'm going to make sure to look at that date and see, you know, how long has it been sitting there? Because without that old taste, this would be a really good cup of coffee. I really do feel like it would probably be the winner here. It's got light body, very smooth, that slight sweetness, that slight nuttiness. Just, you know, again, something that can be enjoyed by probably everyone, unless you really, really like the taste of like burnt dark coffee, then this is definitely not the brew for you. But with that old just whatever taste that is, it's not doing it. It takes this coffee from, say, like an 8 to a 6 or 5. It's very hard to get past that. Again, I might have to return to this cup of coffee. Not sure I want to taste it anymore. I would give the Kodiak coffee probably a 7 to 8 out of 10. I think it has a really good flavor to it. It was only slightly bitter, and like I said, it's a coffee that can be enjoyed by everyone. The other one, I can't get past that taste. I really feel like it's just kind of old coffee, and like I said, I might abstain from giving it any final review until I have a newer bag, but a preliminary rating I would give it would be like I said, like maybe a 6, maybe a 5 even. Had it not had that, probably an 8 or a 9. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by and watching my coffee review today. It really means the world to me. If you like these videos and want to see more in the future, please consider subscribing. It would really mean a lot to me. And yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.